You know, I feel like the RWBY opening is really starting to, you know, wear on me. I think so. It's been a while. I mean, a good while since I actually liked a RWBY opening. You know, I don't know. I like the band's new direction of how they do their music. I miss the original days where it was so much rock into it. And it's still rock, but it's not the rock I like listening to. So I've always been on the fence whether songs are good or not. But now I see they're actually it feels good this time. In fact, I feel like this volume, it's a lot of people who are still into RWBY are really looking at it and saying, will it make or break the show? Because I feel like a lot of people are really, and I mean really, on the edge of whether or not they want to continue watching this series. And to be honest with you, I do hope that it gets better. You know, RWBY was something when I first saw the trailers. Hell, even with Monty Owen's original work, I always look forward to this. And I want to see it to the end. You know, I want to truly do stick the landing. I really do because I remember watching the series starting up and seeing it become so popular and in on a mass scale, being in video games, crossovers, and books, and a lot of cosplays, and OC ideas. I was inspired by it too, to create some new characters and stuff. And so I would love to see it continue on and be good and really, truly stick that landing that I want it to stick. Because at the end of the day, it's a good show, a good online show, one of the best online shows ever created here in America. You know, it's a show that a lot of people continue to talk about, cosplay about, write fan fiction about, the works. So I'm hoping it will succeed because if it don't, it would be really sad. So, anyways, let's get into the episode about this world called Everafter. They're in the books. It's in the book, but how are they here? Is the question. RWBY has this lore, the world of remnants. It has this lore, and we saw the two dragons that helped create the world. Or was it gave them, or maybe it gave them magic, and they were just on that world. We saw the origins, well, not the true origins, but how the world of remnant became, but not really how the world started before then. But anyways, people are wondering, where does this ever after stick into it? Maybe there's just other dimensions out there, and ever after always existed. Maybe never after this entire time was another dimension. Someone came to this dimension and they wrote about it in their stories. That could be a possibility in a way. Wonderland, ever after. It's always that world you have to go through. You can't just escape it. You gotta follow its rules. It's like the entire world is your therapist. You're looking at yourself and it's looking at you. And it's wondering whether or not you will pass the test. More likely you will, you know. But anyways, I like how the characters were, how each character had its own way of reacting to this world. Weiss was my personal favorite, especially how she tried to think everything logically, trying to talk her way out of things being impossible. It can't be ever after. Let's just go straight to the tree, or let's just do what we can to survive. She was thinking on the ground about everything, and that's the kind of character she is. But it just kept not working for her. She every time she sees something she's not supposed to see, she breaks down and starts thinking like, "Oh no, it's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen." It's just muttering to herself. Or the part where she's trying to get to the tree, but she walks back to the same place and then throws the rock, and the rock comes back. I've seen this happen so many times in cartoons where the person throws an object and the object comes back right behind them, hits them in the head. I can never get tired of seeing that. It's always hilarious to me. It's my favorite parts of looking at when it comes to those kind of TV tropes. I've always loved those. And of course, you have Yang trying to be Yang. She's getting better, you know. She had her arm stolen by a talking raccoon, got it back, but and she the high five jump, man. The high five. She could not help herself. In this situation, she cannot help herself. And Blake, you know, I wonder how people truly feel about Blake's new change. Not just her look, but the way she completely acts. She doesn't really act the way she used to. So I wonder if people who are big fans of Blake enjoy this new character of Blake. You know, maybe people think the change was too quick, or maybe the change is just not welcome at all. I don't know. I'm glad when people change for better and stuff like that. But I guess people wanted to have her Batman feel to it in a way. Have that, you know. She's wearing more white than black, and it throws people off a bit. I enjoy the look. It's not bad. I probably did enjoy it when I first saw it because I don't like change, but it grows on me. It does. It really does. So I see it and like, you know what, good for you, Blake. You know, like I said before, with the shipping between Bumblebee, you know, I said it wasn't a good idea because it just came out of nowhere. It didn't make any sense. And of course, some people will say, "Oh, you don't like those kind of people. You don't like lesbians." So like, that's not the point. The point I'm trying to get at is that they could have written it better. It looks like the entire show was writing for Blake and Son being a thing the entire time. You know, it made sense because Son's the one that went to see her parents. Son's the one that went on her adventure. Son's the one to help her pick her up when she was in her lowest after Volume 3. It made so much sense. And Yang was just there. And that's it. You know, Yang wasn't there for all of her character development. So it just didn't make any sense at all for it. Now, if they did it a different way, it would have made sense. They spent more time together. It would have made more sense. It was just a bad direction. It's like they decided to pull a left turn out of nowhere just because the fans wanted it, not because it was for the sake of the writing or the story, just because that's what the fans wanted. And sometimes it's good to give the fans what they want, but at least do it in a good direction where it makes sense, you know. Anyways, off of that little tangent, let's talk about RWBY. This is definitely going to need to be a RWBY volume. I mean, a true RWBY volume. This girl needs development. She needs to grow up. Let's face it, RWBY, despite her being the main character, has the least development out of all of them. You know, we don't really get to see her grow. We saw Weiss grow. We saw Blake grow. We even saw Yang grow. So I think this volume is for RWBY herself. She is the one that's going to grow. She's going to go through this true depression state after everything she went through as a young age. You know, seeing Pyrrha die, Penny die twice, the fall of Beacon, the fall of Vale, you know, her friends falling into despair, and then last hope mission that they did, they don't know if they succeeded or not. So that's a lot to weigh on the mind of a young person. So that being said, her taking the sword that belonged to Penny and giving it to the royal guards was showing that she needs to follow the rules of this world. Maybe she needs to do this in order to move on. Not just to move on to the next part of the story, but to move on for herself, with her grief. Let's hope it goes that way. This is episode 2. Who knows how many episodes this season's going to have. But so far, I'm saying it's not so bad, you know. So far, so good, you know. No real action scenes. Maybe it's not that kind of volume. But again, we had volume 5, and it had a lot of action scenes, but it kind of sucked. Of course, I was trying to justify it at first, but then I'm like, okay, it's starting to suck. However, this one seems like it doesn't need to have action. This is a time of self-reflection. So we'll see what happens from here. Looking forward to it though. And with that, I will end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe. Of course, hit that bell icon just after the background. I'm Anime. Signing out.